Disclaimer.
History is not safe for work, and neither is HistoricHole.
This podcast is uncensored and contains explicit language.
Welcome to HistoricHole. My name is David, and as always, I am joined by Jason and Michael.
Hello.
Hello. And we here at HistoricHole, we like to take a funny look at history. Sometimes people, sometimes places, sometimes events. Today, it might be a combination of places and events.
And people.
And people.
God damn it, we hit the
You know,
game.
history's full of them. We hit the jackpot. Ding, 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 ding. We got people, places, and events.
Well, hot damn. Today we will be discussing the fall of Constantinople.
Oh. So did it explode or did it fall?
Oh, there will be some explosions. But to begin, we will talk about it was constructed in the year 330 by Emperor Constantine. Hence its name. The first Christian emperor of the Roman Empire also.
Wasn't he cool?
Yes.
You know what?
So,
That's
if
something-
you're not paying attention, that means this is 330 AD.
AD.
Not BC.
BCE.
Because how would there be
Or
Christians?
ACE.
You know, yeah, we
BC.
expected you to like put the puzzle pieces together.
Like we
Jesus.
said, this show is like puzzle pieces, words scattered randomly. You figure it out. Who cares?
It's like the Da Vinci Code.
You need Tom Hanks to help you.
He's like, oh, it's all in his paintings. So apparently, the first Christian emperor was after Jesus. My God. The Da Vinci Code.
Yes. And his name was Constantine.
Yep. And that's what I was going to say. I was like, you know what's out of what I miss is people naming cities after themselves. We don't have a lot of those anymore.
No. That's true. Because they've already been all named.
Where's Michaelopolis?
Constantinople, I think, tried to do that. I like him. Well, I mean, I don't know.
I like it. I like it.
I like him.
I like I don't mean
him.
I like him. I like referencing him a lot because it's obscure and no one knows who he is.
The best things to frequently bring up. Obscure and no one knows.
So?
I liked Constantinople before it was cool.
I like him better than he does.
I liked him better than his own sons who murdered him.
I think you probably
In
do.
a capital city named after him. Because that's what you said, Michael. You like people that do that. So.
Well, you know what? I do. I said it just doesn't happen
He's
enough.
in the club.
I'm not saying it doesn't happen at all.
Well, see, why reason it doesn't happen is because your sons murder you.
It's true.
When you do that, typically.
All right. So, we have
Shakespearean.
the split between the in the Roman Empire, we have the Western and the Eastern empires.
Split.
With Byzantium controlling a lot of Asia Minor and the Balkan region of Europe.
Pure.
In the 600s, you have a man named Muhammad start putting together some ideas and whatnot.
Putting some other kind of puzzle pieces together in this tapestry we call religion.
Yes, and you have a new religion come about, Islam.
Might have heard of it.
And you have Muslims starting to control the Middle East and start expanding into Asia Minor, which would put them in contention with the Byzantines.
Hey.
We're going to invade you.
It's like, hey, how's it going, guys? It's just like stare, 1,000-yard stare. We gonna invade you.
Now, Constantinople is known throughout Europe as the best defended city because it was it had a nice little harbor town. It had 20 kilometers worth of walls.
Double wall.
There was like a 60-foot fucking moat and shit.
Yeah.
It was well defended.
It had the top ranked defense for a few seasons.
For a couple hundred years, I think.
The Constantinoples, the fight in Constant.
The only time it was really attacked was from its own people. in I think 1183, 82.
We're jumping all over the place.
Italian. Well, I'm just giving some background on Constantinople before we watch the city fall.
Which we did.
So
Time machine.
in 1182, Greeks just started, which were the Orthodox Church, did not like the Roman Catholics. So you had the Greek Orthodox Church.
So they're all like Jesus, but
Had differing views on how to worship
Jesus.
and whatnot. So they just started killing a bunch of Italians.
well, that's what you do.
And then in 1204, the culmination of the Fourth Crusade was a bunch of Italians murdering Greeks in the sack of Constantinople. So that was fun.
Another thing I missed.
Quid pro quo.
Another thing I miss are crusades.
That was the last one. Because they're like,
No.
we didn't even get to the Holy Land.
The last crusade
It was a great movie.
involved Indiana Jones and his father, and they found the Holy Grail. They chose wisely.
They chose Weasley.
Ron Weasley.
Yeah.
Please stop.
You're a wizard.
I'm about to shoot somebody.
He started it.
So now we come to the year 1453. Emperor Constantine the 11th is emperor.
Their family tree is like a stump.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that
It's a
began
girl,
and
Constantine.
yeah, began. Yeah, it could work. Constance probably.
Constance.
But yeah, started and ends with a Constantine. That's poetic.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, I like poetry, so.
It's like poetry.
Look
it
at
rhymes.
Jason, the poet.
So the Eastern
like
Empire has
poetry.
sort of whittled down throughout the centuries to where it's pretty much just the city.
We used to own that hill.
And across the pond here, and so the Turks had pretty much
The Turks.
conquered everything around Constantinople in the Balkan region, modern day Romania, Bulgaria, and all that jazz. So they're just surrounded, and at this point, Constantine the 11th is like, I think he's going to attack us soon. So he asks.
I doth declare.
So he asks the Pope in Rome. He's like, Can you help? I know we've had some beef over the years, and we sort of excommunicated each other from our respective religions.
Things were said.
But, we have a bigger threat with the Muslim invasion here.
See those Turks? We should be ostensibly Turk hunting. David does not approve. Thanks, Rhaegar. Squeak. The seal, the Rhaegar seal. Funny. See?
That was Rhaegar's funnier than you.
I don't know. Rhaegar thinks I'm funny.
He's gonna shoot you.
So they're gathering, the Turks.
The Pope, yes, we'll get to the Turkish side here in a moment. The Pope at the time is Nicholas V, and ever since you had the churches split, Rome has always looked at Constantinople and the Byzantine Orthodox Church as like, we want you back. For any way, we're going to get you back. You're ours. They were very...
Baby, come back.
Yes. Insert that song.
Insert. Drop. Needle. Crunk. Final place.
So, of course, they worked out some terms with Emperor Constantine the 11th, finally coming to an agreement that they would send help, that they would help their sister city out. And Constantine was like, oh, okay, cool. But the church was falling in favor with the monarchies of Europe because everyone was just like, yeah, we don't really need religion anymore. We got kings.
We got cannons.
Yeah, cannons floating around.
King cannon.
So the Pope was like, hey, we should go help Constantinople out. And all the monarchies were like, we're actually been, doing some stuff on the continent ourselves. The armies are depleted right now because you just have nearing the end of the 100 Years' War between England and France.
Yeah. We've had a lot of war going on.
Poland and I think Hungary had just fought a battle with the Turks and got their ass whooped. So everyone was just like, yeah, it's nice. We would love to help, but we just don't have the manpower.
It's like, look, we drank a lot last night. That's our real. But we're going to say we got in a war.
Yes.
Look, man, we just got out of a war. Like, I know I was going to help you move, but, I just fought the Turks. That goes. Got our ass kicked.
The Sultan at the time was Mehmed II. He was a 19-year-old.
Of course he was.
He had come to power, I think, in 1451, and they were saying, "Oh, he won't invade Constantinople. Oh, he won't do that. He'll just secure some power back here." And first thing he did was like,
Who said that?
his advisors and general people within the
To the 19-year-old Sultan.
Sultan.
Why? So they're saying that to him?
Yeah,
Or they're saying
yeah. It probably wouldn't be best for us to invade right now.
Oh,
and
okay.
yeah.
So
Like,
but he wants to.
We're just saying. we're just
because he
saying,
does.
Don't do it. I know you wouldn't even be thinking about it, but don't do it. I'm just saying. We're
Yeah.
advising you. He's like, oh, I'm doing it.
I've had
Funny you mentioned that.
because that was the first order of business.
The first decree. Another thing I miss? Sultans. Cities named after people. And sultans.
And
I like their swords.
scimitars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a fine blade.
Fine blade.
A fine blade.
You get up on that camel with your scimitar. You got yourself a stew brewing. Wait.
So one of his, the invasion of Constantinople was on his mind. And to that end, he constructed a fortress on the other side, like 30 miles north of Constantinople.
Like looking through the telescope or whatever. Like, are they building another city?
It's like Russia putting the nukes in Cuba. Yeah. And just like, okay, what are you all doing there?
The Turkish Fortress
And this is,
crisis.
yeah, the construction of the fortress is pretty much what tips Constantine off. Is like, oh, okay, it's coming now.
I don't think they're going to invade.
What are y'all doing over there?
Nothing.
It's just like building cannons and
They're just
setting up
building
trebuchets
cannons,
and whatever.
Actually,
sharpening the sim.
there was an experimental cannon that the Turks used, developed by a Hungarian engineer,
Now, it doesn't always fire straight, but when it does,
called the Bastilla or Basilisk, something like that. But
Good research, Jason. Oh, he's a caveman. We can't hold him too high of a standard.
the fact that he even got the B, pat on the back.
yes, it was supposed to fire over 1.6 kilometers long. Like, that's how far away it could shoot. But it took 3 hours to reload.
My God.
But it was a really powerful cannon.
So if you miss, like, oh God, they missed. We got 3 hours, boys.
But you're also being bombarded with a bunch of other cannons. With like regular cannons.
Like
So
cannons.
just-
And then in the background you have the long shot,
So it's just helping the general effort.
you imagine that? It was
Dude, what?
all these cannons, the little cannons, the big cannons.
They're
They got
not
the-
machine guns. What the fuck are you
Well, because they're all shooting. There's all sorts of cannons. I assume they were shooting reasonably close together. They weren't just all doing it at the same time, like a volley. So we gotta wait 3 hours. So we're gonna shoot all of them at once. It's gonna fuck you up, but it's gonna take us a while.
So, hear me out. What if you had like 30 of them, and so you could shoot off 10 an hour?
Like 30 of the
big ones,
Bastos?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I assume they were hard to make. I assume this was a
Hear me out.
giant piece of machinery.
Yeah, it was
30
huge.
of them.
How does it take 3 hours to reload?
That's
Yeah,
why
I
you
don't
have
know.
30.
I don't know the logistics of the weapon. All I know is
Well, you should.
That
Great
is-
research, caveman.
that it took 3 hours to
10
reload.
times in 60 minutes. What is that? It's a lot. I'll tell you what
10
that
times
is.
60 minutes. That's 10 times an hour.
It's 10 times.
Yeah,
an
you
hour.
just
10 times in 6
fire one every 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
We
Jason,
figured the math out.
he's got the math.
Caveman. Cave mathematician.
Well, math, they needed math back in the day.
Yeah.
In the cave.
And I'm a decent cave painter too.
Decent cave painter.
You should see his buffalo in his spear. He can draw a mean spear.
It's like the Michelangelo of cavemen.
So 50,000.
Why do you think we took him back here?
We're like, damn, that's not a bad cave painting. Oh, say goodbye to your family.
It really hampered human progression for thousands of years, the fact that we took him from his time. But it was worth it.
The things we could have accomplished.
We stepped like on a lizard, and it changed the course of history. So sorry about 2020, guys. we saved Jason, and COVID happened.
It's directly related.
Don't ask us how. but
Intimately
it
related.
is. Yeah, don't ask us how we know.
One day we'll explain it.
Yeah, one day. It's two. It's
One
not the
day.
time. It's not the time.
So the Sultan took 50 to 80,000 Ottoman troops over from Asia Minor to his new fortress and sort of just camped there for a while. While Constantine, yeah. I was going to say the Byzantines, but I'm like, no, I want to talk about one person. But while Constantine was just like, well, this is not looking good.
John F. Constantine.
Well, in our Cuban Missile Crisis parallel here, it really works. So.
We are fucked.
Yeah. Do not ask what these 26 kilometers of walls could do for you. What can you do for these 26 kilometers of wall?
They tried. But while the Pope couldn't get, major involvement from the European monarchies, he was able to put like a few people together. So you had a world-class...
The B team. The backups. Here we go.
The Pope sent 200 archers
The replacements.
to man the walls of Constantinople.
200.
200. They could only spare 200.
Meanwhile, they have like this thing that takes 3 hours to load on the hill next to them. Like, we'll just blow them all up at once.
But then from Genoa, a man named Giovanni.
From Genoa? Great.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Places where people are named the same. Who knows what came first? Giovanni or Genova?
He arrived with 700 men, and he was actually a specialist in defending castles. So as soon as he landed...
Hey, you got a castle you need defending, yeah?
Here's my credentials.
He takes a sip of Constantine's drink. It's just like, so you might not have heard of me, but I hear you have a problem. And you know what? I can fix this problem.
See, the way I was going with it, I was thinking more of like Roadhouse, where he's Dalton at the beginning. When the guy comes in, it's like, I have a club. I need you to come. I have a roadhouse. I need you to come fix up. We got some troublemakers.
Either one.
Yes. Well,
That's what I pictured. Michael's is
acceptable.
probably funnier. So whatever.
That's the way I picture it. He's Dalton.
I pictured Dalton from Roadhouse. Roadhouse Castle. What's the difference, really?
well, when Giovanni lands and Constantine hears about him, he's like, well, guess what? You're in charge now. So he's in charge of the defenses.
Of course.
You look like you know what you're doing. He's Dalton.
In the Kingdom of Venice, they convene and are like, should we help? No. Yes. Maybe. It takes over...
All opinions are stated.
It takes a while for them to eventually decide, yeah, we'll send 20 ships.
What was the question?
Don't be hasty. So there are people defending Constantinople. They have about 4,000...
Dalton.
Well, 7,000 to 10,000 troops defending the city. Like 3,000 are foreigners, but not native. That would be the definition of foreigner, Michael. Great band also, by the way.
Oh, that's actually a real band.
But then a bunch of the peasants also who lived inside the walls were like, well, I guess we can just repair shit.
They did Jukebox Hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's an
Yeah, you've heard of them? Have you heard of Foreigner, folks?
I want to know what love is, too, right? I want to know what love is.
really the song that...
I think that's what they did, right?
I don't know. It's one of those bands, yacht rock bands. Yeah,
Well, it'd be
Foreigner
funny
did
if it
that.
was Foreigner because we already referenced that song.
Did
and
we?
how the turntables. Yeah, maybe it's some episode. I don't know about today.
No, we did.
Did we?
Yeah.
Check the tape.
I don't remember referencing.
I don't either.
He started singing it.
I think I just do that.
I don't know what I'm singing.
I don't know what I'm saying.
I just break out into Foreigner randomly. I don't even know.
I just broke out in Foreigner. Ah!
I mean, they did it. What was the other one? They did one more. There was another hit.
David's like, fuck Constantinople. I need to know what Foreigner hits. So then what happened?
I want to know what love is.
Yeah, well, there you go.
That's awesome.
It's awesome. isn't it?
Excellent.
Urgent.
Oh, double vision.
Oh, yeah.
Double vision. That's what it
Florida,
is.
They just keep cranking out the hits.
Double vision, bro.
You got double vision. Continue, Jake.
Okay, so
The producer has lost his way. He's going to start looking up Journey songs or Styx songs next because it's like, I thought they did this one. They're all interchangeable.
They have some concerts coming up in
he's
Germany.
filing out.
Yeah, well, let's go. They have some concerts coming up in Germany.
This next year, though.
You know what, Florida? Well, of
After
course.
COVID. Once COVID's no
After COVID. AC.
Post-COVID.
So you have a repair montage. Everyone's rebuilding walls, moving cannons around, making sure that those are
To a Foreigner song. You
Yeah.
know, it's the montage song, obviously.
correct.
Urgent.
But Constantine is like, I don't think this is going to be enough because they also got like 70 fucking boats just floating out here.
It's like their montage song is better. It's like we're playing Foreigner over there. It's like something like Pantera. So they load the 3-hour gun. It's like they look way more intimidating.
So he commissions the construction of a giant chain, which he puts at the entrance to the harbor to sort of block the ships, which I do believe is the inspiration for the giant chain from the second book in A Song of Ice and Fire,
Oh, God. Who gives a shit?
Clash of Kings. Yeah, in the
Yeah, that one.
Battle of King's Landing. But yeah,
The one that has dragon fire.
yeah.
Was
Exactly.
that
One
part
that's,
based on this
totally
too?
fictional and just not at all based in history.
I don't think the Dragonfire. Yeah, the Dragonfire was all completely fictional. But anywho, the chain was
it?
the chain.
I did not know.
The chain was real.
Whoa, the chain. Put the chain. Off the chain. That chain was off the chain.
So Mehmed moved his troops.
Don't shoot me. Just give me the chain. Death by chain.
Mehmed moved his troops down south, started moving south, and started encamping around Constantinople April 2nd of 1453, which was the day after Easter.
Everyone was eating chocolate. In the
And
form of
hunting,
an
for,
egg.
and hunting for eggs. Now that the Ottomans are here, Constantine was like, well, yeah, we're definitely probably going to lose. So he starts sending
Well,
ambassadors to them.
that
like,
ain't good.
Hey, can we give you money for you to just leave? Can we pay you off? Is this possible? Can we do this? Can we make this happen?
So look, it looks like you're about to kick the shit out of us.
But
Is there any way that
money.
can't happen?
But money.
We have a lot of rabbits from Easter yesterday.
I know you want to invade, but money.
And
Cha-ching.
Mehmed's answer was he cut off all their heads. All the ambassadors' heads.
His answer was, I cut off all the ambassadors' heads.
They're like, oh, so we can go though, right? He's like, oh yeah, just tell them that I cut off my heads. It's like, oh, don't worry.
They come back there.
He's like,
cut
no,
off all
you
our
give me
heads.
your money and I won't cut off your heads, but then you tell them you go, yeah.
So he didn't give them money, or he just took the money and cut off all their heads.
Well, it was an offer. They didn't have the money
They
on
have the
them.
money. Okay,
Probably
good.
smart.
Probably a good idea. Yeah, I just didn't preemptively send that.
Yeah.
Probably like one coin, like, where this came from. Chop. You dare to insult me? I'm the Sultan.
And then
I have integrity. I don't get paid off.
the invasion or the besiege begins 4 days later.
The besiege.
The besiege begins.
The Besiege.
The siege begins April 6th.
Under Besiege. Starring Steven Seagal.
Under besiege.
Oh, geez.
I knew it. You said it first.
So they start firing the cannons, but the walls are pretty secure, having just been repaired and whatnot during our montage. And so the 3-hour gun is doing good work, penetrating well.
3-hour gun.
But because it takes 3 hours, they're able to repair it, the damage it did by the time it shoots again.
Must be obnoxious. That's why you shoot all the other cannons I thought they had.
Well, they were, but I think they were spreading it out.
We repaired the hole you made.
Navally, the chain works. They can't get through
Fuck.
the harbor way. So what they ended up doing was
Stop the boats. I'll just like run into the chain.
they end up carrying the boats over land. and placing them.
They carried the boats.
Yeah. I think they used
It must have been a shitty job. It's like, well, you're in the middle of the boat carrying. Don't drop it.
they used wooden
logs. I'm
planks.
sure there was some sort of
Yes,
way.
they used logs to fucking roll the
Someone
boats
had to roll,
over land.
though.
Yeah.
You don't want to be on the wrong end of that boat rolls the wrong way. It's like he was crushed by a boat in the middle of the Middle East.
Yeah.
There was a chain. It's a long story for another time.
So they get the boats finally in the Golden Horn, and they have
Start shooting at the boats as they're bringing them around. So they're just dropping the boats back in, like, no! Shoot the cannons at the boats.
well, the cannons are short shot. Like they don't have the range. Like they're terrible cannons.
It's funny, just like dropping the boat in like it's a new boat. It's like
Cannon
fuck.
technology was inferior for the time.
There's a will, there's a way. It's like, why don't we have 2 chains? Just like the rapper. He should have been the last line of defense. Don't you dare. Just don't shoot me over 2 chains. If 2 Chainz music starts playing, you can shoot me.
So since
Badass.
you have a bunch of Turkish boats in the Golden Horn now, a few of the Italians took it upon themselves to, under the cover of night,
Leave.
to go into the harbor and burn the boats.
Wow.
Yeah. Set them ablaze. Didn't work. They were caught.
And they were on water, you know.
So
It's a pretty bad plan. Once they got past the chain, they should have just given up. Once you're literally carrying boats around, you can't stop them. That would have been the time to burn the boats. When they were carrying them on land. Oh, well.
so Mehmed's punishment.
Hence why this is called the fall of Constantinople, not the victory.
Yeah.
Come from behind, we totally did this. There was no Hail Marys here.
Well,
Despite our incompetence, we pulled it out.
Mehmed's punishment for them was he had them all impaled
God.
in view of the city walls to demoralize everyone.
Right out of cannon range.
Yes. And in retaliation, the people inside the walls, the defenders, took 260 Turkish captives and just slit their throats on the walls and then threw their body into the water.
Humans are great. Escalation has always worked.
So now the Turks are like, well, we can't get through these fucking walls. What are we going to do? Can't get through them. I guess we're going to go under them. And they start building a bunch of tunnels
They took
around
the
the
boats
city.
under the wall. The boats
guys,
came out
what
of the
if?
sewers.
We took the boats.
Carrying them overland was cool.
Let's take them under. Let's carry boats. Let's continue with the boat carrying.
He had to push them. The logs didn't work as well underwater. They kept floating. We actually had to like drain the water.
Let's build some
Dig
boats
it.
to carry this boat across the sea.
Like we just built like a boat around the boat.
Speaking of which, side note here, there is a literal, like, one of the biggest things, I think one of the biggest like seafaring objects that humans have built is like this. It's like a boat that carries like tankers. It's a boat that literally carries boats.
Yeah, that thing's crazy.
And it goes down.
yeah. And like it fills with
submerges,
water. It's like a
and then
boat. It's just weird. It's like
raises-
everything that a boat shouldn't be.
So the Turkish Ottomans start building a bunch of tunnels. Constantine was like, well, I guess we'll just build tunnels to counteract their tunnels. And what they do is they find their tunnels and then start sneaking in troops and murdering all the people working on the tunnel.
The tunnels, it's like Vietnam down there. No one can see. Everyone's just digging into each other.
Trench warfare.
And then they die. Yeah.
Tunnel warfare. Call of Duty.
So by May
The
21st,
city just like literally fall at that point. Like they're just digging under it. I'm like, how does this work? How big are these holes?
that's good architecture. The walls were built sturdy. They have good foundation.
But if there's the foundation's gone, they're digging tunnels through the whole foundation.
By May
They're like locusts in Gears of War. I've seen it. Eventually, the cities fall through the crust.
on the planet of Sarah. By May 21st, the Sultan is like, well, I'm just going to ask them to leave. So he sends
Enough of this tunnel.
So he sends an ambassador to Constantine and is like, hey, we'll let y'all leave with all your possessions. We just want the city. That's what we came for. You know, you just get the fuck out and be on your merry way.
Just leave.
And Constantine was like, no, we've all talked about it, and we're all pretty sure we're ready to die here. So no.
Yeah, it's like you're gonna, if you want it, you're gonna have to earn it.
You can't just slit a bunch of people's throats and throw them off the walls and just be like, well, all right. It's such
Be
an
like,
ass.
you scared? I scare you enough? And they're just like, nah, come kill us. Just do it.
And once the answer is received, all of Mehmed's advisors are like, okay, let's go. Well, they're split. Some are like, well, let's go. And others are like, full force ahead.
Full force.
Wait, what do you mean? Some are like, let's go. And some are like,
leave.
Yeah, leave. Like, stop the besiege and go.
Bring the men out of the tunnels.
Yeah. Let's carry these boats back across and get the hell out of here. They just wanted to leave.
yeah.
Whereas another...
I'm not looking forward to carrying that boat back around that chain. My back hurts.
the other side was like, well, we're here now. We're already... They have
We've
to
come
almost...
this far. Sunk cost fallacy. You know, it's like we've already invested all this time.
And we have to be
Boat
this
carry
close. We're so
fallacy.
close.
We're so boat.
A sunk boat fallacy. Ugh, I should shoot myself.
Do it.
No.
And the Sultan, who
Regard.
has always... He disapproves.
He's like, don't shoot that gun. I shot a gun.
I'm almost asleep. The Sultan,
The drugs are taking sway, Daddy.
whose main goal has always been to take Constantinople, he's like, yeah, we're gonna take it.
We're going to take that bridge.
I'm committed.
Just a goddamn city.
So they're...
Didn't we just build a city like 30 miles down the road?
Why don't we just be the better city? Why do we have to take that city?
No.
No, I want that city.
We carry these goddamn boats. We're not leaving.
So they start moving troops around, and on midnight of May 29th, they start a full frontal assault.
Full frontal assault.
It was sexy.
And then they break through the walls.
With a what?
Just overtime. The cannon fire finally wore down the right
The
spots.
3-hour gun finally. Like,
Yeah,
it
one of
made a
them's-
big enough
yeah.
hole.
They get through the walls. Everyone's like, Constantine moves forward, and it's either there are two conflicting
Of course, there's two conflicting accounts.
portrayals of what Constantine does. He either charges forward and dies that way, or he retreats and kills himself. Either way,
Well, that's quite different.
he dies. And after he's not seen on the battlefield, everyone sort of loses heart and starts retreating and whatnot.
Where's Constantine? My heart is waning. My morale. Comes riding out. Just gets hit by a spear. Like in the head.
So some people...
3-hour gun just obliterates his body. Where's Constantine? It's like, well, that rather large crater is the last we saw.
So by the... People either retreat, some people retreat to the inner city, the inner walls.
Inner city.
They can't get through all these walls.
Some of the Italians and Genoas just hop on their boats and get out. But other people
I
just
said I
don't.
was really good at defending cities.
Well, he actually got injured in the assault, Giovanni, and had to be taken off the field, which also disheartened people.
Yeah, that would have disheartened me more. The guy seemed like he actually knew what he was doing.
Yes, the city defense master.
like dragged him off injured. He's probably got like his leg cut off or something. Like, well, that's not good.
And then I'm pretty sure after he gets hurt, then the wall falls and people are
Fell on him.
retreating. Some people don't see a way out, so they end up just committing suicide by jumping off the wall.
Seppuku. Not really. Just
They jumped off a wall
not on a wall.
onto a pit of swords.
Yeah. They jumped off the wall while cutting their stomach open.
Yeah.
Shooting themselves.
Chopping them head off. Yeah. No, that's not what happened.
We were there.
Once
It was pretty horrifying.
It wasn't pretty.
once
I still
inside
hear the screams.
once inside the walls, Mehmed made his troops a promise. So he said, "Well, y'all can loot and pillage for 3 days straight. Go at it."
Uh-oh.
And yeah,
That always goes well.
about 30,000 people were enslaved. Women beyond count had terrible things done to them. Some men too.
Jason laughs at the thought. Brings some joy.
Men also were raped. Children of both sexes as well.
Don't both sides this right now.
Buildings were destroyed and looted. Just general mayhem in a
it was chaos.
post siege fervor.
Everyone's
Post-siege.
drunk,
Battle drunk.
high on victory.
Blood drunk.
After the 3 days though, Mehmed came out and was like, "Okay, that's it. We're calling the pillage."
We're
It's
calling
like
it.
3, 2, and pillage. Stop.
And then made a general
Guys like
announcement.
trying to grab a bunch of things real quick.
A
Pillage.
bunch of women he's grabbing.
Yeah. Slave, 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 slave.
Then Mehmed made a general announcement to the population of Constantinople saying, "Hey, if you manage to hide, just come on out now because we're fine now. Like, we're cool."
Those who are not dead, enslaved, or raped, feel free to poke your head out.
It's just like before, you know?
It'll be okay.
This is fine.
You can trust us.
Other people did not and decided to leave. You had a bunch of artists and painters and whatnot heading towards Europe because that was the only safe place.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much why we have a rise in the Renaissance. Because
We're just at Constantinople and like, well, that didn't work out. Let's go over here.
you have all that Greek and Roman history coming back into Europe.
Yep.
Yep.
It's nostalgia.
It's really what it is. The Renaissance is just nostalgia.
It's like the 80s.
In 1459, Pope Pius II, new pope,
Pope.
wanted a crusade. He's like, let's get a crusade going, retake Constantinople.
Yeah.
But the only person who was interested in the idea was Vlad the Impaler.
He's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Any opportunity to do some impaling.
He's just like cutting someone's arm off, like, oh, you crusade.
He drops his fucking knife. He's just like, wait, somebody say crusade.
He's like about to stab someone. The person's like, oh, thank God. And he just like stabs him real quick. Goes like, oh, I can go.
The Pope's talking about it, with his advisors at the table, and Vlad just kicks the door open, just like the Kool-Aid man. Did somebody say crusade?
Like kicks the door, like throws a knife like right in front of the Pope. Crusade.
Don't mind if I do.
Well, it didn't happen because no one really cared for the
Like,
Pope.
come on, guys.
No one was really listening to the Pope anymore.
Who cares what the dude
Yeah.
is?
Who cares? He's just some crazy guy.
New Pope.
Claims to talk to God.
And so the fall of Constantinople was pretty much seen as...
Come on. Anybody else claims they talk to God. You think they're crazy. But this guy that has a funny hat on says he does it, and everybody believes it.
That Pope hat is legit.
And the car. So the fall of Constantinople is pretty much seen as finally the end of the Roman Empire, which lasted from 27 BC to 1453 AD.
Yeah.
They had a good run.
Yeah.
All right. So is that it?
Yeah.
It fell. Well,
Fell.
Well, and then, it
Sounded awful.
Constantinople becomes Istanbul.
no. Istanbul was Constantinople.
Byzantium.
The Ottoman
100.
The Ottoman Empire
pure.
was actually kind of on a wane too because it wasn't really accomplishing much. It was had some infighting going on. It was battling other tribes in Asia Minor. But after the taking of Constantinople, they stuck around until, the end of World War I.
Yep.
Yep.
Stuck around.
Yep.
And from their newly acquired Well, they were already in the Balkan Peninsula, but they always had to worry about Constantinople at their backs. But now that they had the complete landmass, they were able to have further incursions into southeastern Europe.
Yep.
Which is where Vlad the Impaler comes in, and that's why he did so much impaling.
Yep.
And are you covering him next week or some shit?
I was thinking about it.
Yeah, it's like you're really giving Vlad the historical
Talk
push.
about impaling and Vlad.
And then there's Vlad. There's Vlad.
He liked impaling. Did you know that?
Yeah, it's called Vlad the Impaler.
It was only in his fucking name.
This is kind of an interesting guy.
His name was literally Vlad. Middle name the.
You know, there was a lot more to him than the impaling.
No, there
He
wasn't.
really-
There actually really was.
Short episode
impaling
next week.
could really
Vlad,
describe
here's
every
little Vladdy.
Impaling could really describe every aspect of his personality. He was just an impaling force.
Yeah.
He'd come into a conversation and boom, he impaled
What were you
words.
talking to me? You just say things.
He would just kill words. He wouldn't even need them.
He couldn't speak well. All right, and that was our Vlad episode. There's nothing else to him.
All right, so
There really isn't.
Then maybe we should.
I was going to
Vlad.
do him this week, but then,
you got
it's just a bunch of impaling.
All
Or
right,
we could have the 3-hour gun instead.
let's get to the shill stuff
Chill.
so we can get this damn episode over with.
Chill.
All right, give us 5 stars on iTunes if we're worth it. Give us 5 big guns.
Give us five 3-hour
Turkish.
guns.
Give us 5 Turkish boats that are carried across the
Or under.
or under.
Just the boats. However you get them to us is of your own volition.
Give us 5 sultans or 5 stars on iTunes. That can do. If you are listening but like watching, well then use YouTube, and we're on that now, so you can do that. So do that. Follow us on social media platforms like Instagram and Twitter. We post full episodes on the IGTV, so you can watch us there as well.
Yes, watch us.
And then we
Watch
get
us.
banned randomly, so we might not be.
So maybe don't watch
there,
us.
but
Watch us.
You'll watch us.
So you watch us. We'll find you.
We'll watch you.
find you and dox you. We have tools. Word of mouth is the best advertising we can get. So if you like this, then that's the way to support us. Plain and simple. And, really what it comes down to these days, people, if like you're all about the, fight corporations, man, and like you want to like take the power away from corporations and support independent content media. Like that's as simple as
We're
it gets.
not a corporation.
That is as simple as it gets. And people just want to make it all complicated. It's like, why, how, what can you do? Well, you know what you can do? You can just fucking listen to and not even just us, but like just people that are doing their own thing.
Yeah, don't listen to us.
Support
Good God, why would
anybody
you
doing
ever?
their own thing. So that's all it's about. Just do that. And then fuck corporations, and there you go. And you're happy, and then we're all happy.
That's right.
Except the corporations.
Well, who wants them to be happy?
Exactly. You can email us at historichole@gmail.com with any questions you'd like us to answer, but nobody does that. It's okay, because
We're eventually going to stop telling you about it.
Eventually.
Nope.
And our statement of modernity for this week
Darn.
is everyone hates you, including your mother. So take that to the bank. We've used that a few weeks in a row now, but it's true, so
Yeah.
suck it. Life is full of holes. Enter wisely.
Goodbye.
3-hour gun.